101.7. It's International Workers' Day today. And I know many of you are taking it easy on a very wet and rainy Wednesday morning. But we're here at Post. Of course, we do this in tandem with you. Thank you so much for all of your thoughts, comments, your suggestions, even your questions on the socials. Do keep them coming. We're asking you, how are you doing as a Ghanaian worker? I also promised that we would be expanding this conversation, and we're doing that right about now. Mr. Abraham Kumson is the Secretary General of the Ghana Federation of Labour. And he joins us now on the telephone lines. Mr. Kumson, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Good morning.
And good morning. A happy International Workers' Day to you.
Let's hope it's an occasion to observe the happiness that you are talking about.
Are you not feeling that happiness in the atmosphere?
No, it appears the relevance of the occasion is eroded, and I don't think that maybe it's the celebration we observe this time reflects the real struggle to, get that freedom of organization, freedom of association, and then even getting this 8-hour working day. It was violent struggles that brought us to that level. But now we are not really, because things that are happening in this country and organized labor is very quiet. First May comes, we assemble, and then we come with fanfare like Christians celebrating the birth of Christ and then his crucifixion. It has become from fighting about something that people do not even understand why. I mean, they celebrate Christmas and then it has become a business. So yes. So I, for one, the way we celebrate, maybe the government, the president will come to that forum, will be talking lies, and there's not even a single occasion that the president has come to stand there and talking about anything that will enhance the growth of the economy, that will reflect on the lives of Ghanaians. So, listen, we have, look at inflation. Look at the cedi, the value of cedi.
That's right. The depreciation that we've seen just in the first quarter alone, over 12% downwards.
Yes. So what is it? What are we celebrating? If workers cannot fight bad economic policies, from 3.8 cedis to now about 14, 15 cedis to the dollar.
That's
and we
right.
are quiet. And we are going to celebrate what? May Day. What is the significance of that occasion? What are we celebrating? Just to go there and then march and then go back, go and drink and make merry and what? It's just waste of time and resources.
Mr. Kumson, you say it's a waste of time, but bear with me. Let me also acknowledge this morning Mr. Austin Gami. He's a labor and alternative dispute resolution consultant, CEO of Gami and Gami Group. Mr. Gami, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Good morning. Good morning to
And happy International Workers' Day to you.
Happy Workers' Day to all of you, especially those of you who are active workers.
Thank you so much. Well, Mr. Kumson gave us a very passionate preamble. Do you share in the sentiments that May Day or International Workers' Day, it doesn't have as much or carry as much weight, at least in our part of the world, as it should?
Thank you. Indeed, the impact, as it used to be, has drastically reduced. It's virtually now more of, making known concerns that working people have, but the effect is what matters. Because whatever one does, we're looking at an outcome. At the end of the day, the outcome does not really portray what we imagined. Then, of course, it may not be as effective as before. But it's a good reminder. Sometimes governments and employers and workers alike are awakened from their sleep at least. So to that effect, yes, it's still something to be there to be reminding.
Right. Well, in recent times, we've seen that communication between organized labor and the government seems to not be as effective. And I'm talking about the ways in which organized labor has attempted to put their grievances before government, the ways in which organized labor has tried to alert government or avert government's mind to some of their problems and hardships. In your experience, what are some of the effective strategies for promoting better communication and resolving conflicts between employers and employees, so that work can still go on? We find ourselves in a very precarious situation as far as the economy is concerned, and even a day of strife by organized labor could bring things to a standstill at a time when we need all hands on deck. What do you say is really accounting for this breakdown in communication, and what can be done to make it better? And then I'll come to you, Mr. Kumson.
Yeah, perception, has always been part of the program of labor and management all this while. Unions or workers normally perceive employers, some which perception have become real, that the employer is out to cheat, to not give him his due wage. Indeed, in the Bible, it talks about how employers pay workers their due wages. So it's something that is known that employers would want to withhold, something from the worker. So that perception has been there many, many, many years. Some countries are taking steps to reduce it to the barest minimum, such as Singapore, Japan, Finland, Norway, Scandinavian countries. But generally, it has reduced drastically. But it's still there, especially in Africa. Ghana, no exception. In Ghana, our educational system has never been too good as far as promoting cohesion, promoting labor management cooperation. It's been absent. Some effort have been made. Indeed, even the trade unions themselves have tried. Some employers too have tried. But it's still not working very well. And to the extent that some employers appear to be generally not very open, even as the law envisages. So I think people have never trusted them, and that thing has seated and is still sitting. And therefore, until we make conscious efforts, if, for instance, it is true that from next year, the way the economy is moving, things will become really, really challenging for the nation.
That's right.
And therefore, it takes a real gem of a leader to lead the nation to be able to come out from this terrible mess which we find ourselves in. And therefore, it is up to workers Indeed, when I say workers, the whole Ghana is our workers because, we predominantly operate in the informal sector also.
That's right.
And therefore, the women in the market are workers. Wherever the shop bar maker is a worker, everybody is a worker because, and we are living in a very horrible economy. It will take, this time, we don't need an economist. We don't need somebody who is a so-called specialist. All we need is somebody who is a leader.
Right.
We need a leader to lead the nation.
So you say we move away from maybe the fancy jargons and all of that. We need leadership. That's where you say it starts and ends.
Exactly, sir.
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Kumson into the conversation once more. And Mr. Kumson, how does the Federation of Labour support and advocate for workers' rights and interests throughout the year, not just on a day like this, on May Day?
The days have been challenging as you speak because of this bad economic policy. A lot of our industries are folding up, the few remaining are operating below capacity. And as we speak, over the week, last week, some employers were, encouraging their the few employees that are left in their companies to prepare for the meeting. But the workers have refused. They have rejected. They have written very strong letters to management that they will not participate in any May Day celebration being organized by. And as we speak today, the workers are not joining the May Day. And some others, I don't want to mention a particular company because they have a lot of grievances, problems, conditions of service are worsening. So many things are happening. They are laying off. And it is no news. I mean, people are not, the media too, they don't care. But whether people are losing their jobs or not. So, workers, I'm telling you, the people, those who assemble there, I'm happy it is raining. I wish rain would stop everyone to stop this whole thing that we call.
You wish it would rain to ruin proceedings today on a day like this, International Workers' Day?
Oh, yes, because what is going to happen there? The president will come there. Look, about 4 years ago, during the COVID time, the event was, organized at the forecourt of the TUC. The president came there, and knowing the challenges that workers were facing, he said, his ministers were going to reduce their salaries by some percentage and all that to help. And people were clapping. I said, look, you are clapping for this man. The following week, the wives, their siblings were given, their wives were given some salary. The wife, after the man has spoken, not quite a week, it was announced that the wives were going to be paid salary. I said, look at the number of ministers that this government is carrying. Presidential staff. Look at it. And when we sit there for this amount of money to be sunk in a deep well like this, you see, workers, we sometimes, the leadership, I think it's right that Honorable government talked about leadership. It's yes.
That's right.
Because if we are there and we don't care, the president hiring jet flying at very greater cost, we don't talk about it. Look at the number of ministers and presidential staffers there. Look at this, the SML, the recent one. They're not talking about it. We're talking about all these things. Look at these.
But beyond, Mr. Kumson, beyond talking about it, because this has been, for example, some of the issues that you highlight, SML and Co. This has been front and center.
You.
Yes, yes, for sure. But I'm talking about the average worker, organized labor. What should they be doing? How should we be seeing them at a time like this? What are some of the practical ways in which we should be seeing the movement going on? Speak to us on that.
That's what I'm saying, that these are issues that organized labor leadership should be concerned about. We raise issues. We are losing members because of this bad economic policy. Funds are being misdirected into their homes and all these things, and we're not talking. If you go and speak, they say, hey, for you are against this regime. What regime? We started fighting from even Rollins' time. We were demonstrating. We did so many things against bad economic policies that any government will bring up. This time around, if you talk, they say, hey, you are against NPP. What kind of nonsense is this? What kind of nonsense is this? We go and celebrate Medi. The rains will fall heavily.
Mr. Kumson, you're so passionate this morning. Let me bring in Mr. Gami on this and pick his thoughts on this particular issue. Mr. Gami, do you share in the same sentiments that today the rain should fall all day, ruin the whole celebration, to drive home the fact that as Ghanaian workers, we are unhappy with the state of affairs? And also, do you agree that organized labor has to be more forceful with their message, with speaking up about the current state of affairs? You made mention about the economy, how tough and tight it is for everybody.
Well, the truth is that maybe, if it's anything at all, belongs to the working people. And therefore, it is for workers to take advantage and speak their mind out. Maybe not the traditional way it started with, such as resistance. It's about resistance to a long working days that brought about maybe done in Chicago, and therefore the day is for working people. Rain or shine, I expect them to bring their issues out. But the main concern I have is about the debilitating nature of the economy of Ghana. And yet, let anybody at all come out, especially in government, and say that we are organizing to, have our people elected and so forth and so on. I don't care if they bring out, if MPP, for instance, win election 100 times. It's none of my business. But the main concern is, can they lead us?
That's right.
And the same working people who are complaining is the same people who go to the voting booth to go and vote. The same people who go to the mosque, who go to the church, who go to the market, is the same people who, the Ghanaian spirit is more partisan than thinking about what is appropriate. So I'm sitting here, I do know that nothing would really work out, even if we shout a horse. But my principal concern is that, can the economy of Ghana resurrect under the present models that we have if the present state of affairs continue the way we are? By 2025, I think that something drastic will happen in this nation.
You say something drastic. When you say that, what are you referring to? What sort of event would that be?
As at yesterday, 3 pieces of 3 pieces of tomato is 10 cedis. Yesterday. So what will not happen? If tomatoes 3 pieces is costing that, and our food is virtually kind of perennial thing. If you are planting and government is shouting that there's plenty of food, like it was done by the previous ministers of agriculture, clearly it's because it's a regime of it's raining, the plantain has come up, and that is perennial, it will go.
That's right.
But we don't have a system where you can have plantain 24/7. I agree that it's perennial, but we can grow plantain to be able to have it available in abundance if government is determined to do it. If we have a policy that will grow food in this nation, we will have food.
That's right.
How can we be in this nation if available land? Of course, the water has been turned into galamsey, so you don't even know whether we are eating something that will not kill us. So I think we should all be concerned. But I think what we need is genuine leadership. And I pray that, like you people, your station, you have been doing, I've been listening to my friend Johnny's bike consistently. If you people can drum home and remind people all the time, I do also, but limited. So I think it's important that we keep on reminding everybody. But we need to have whether it is John Mahama or Afafanta or it is Dr. Baumia, there'll be a change of government.
That's right.
And we need to bring home forcefully that we are not going to accept just a rhetoric. We are going to accept a so-called manifesto. No. We want something extraordinary.
Something to pull out of this plight that the average Ghanaian worker finds themselves in. Well, time check, it is some 30 minutes past the hour of 8. You're still live here on 3 FM Sunrise on 3 FM 92.7. Today is International Workers' Day, and we're discussing whether or not the Ghanaian worker is better off in today's economy. We're currently speaking with Mr. Austin Gami. He's a labor and alternative dispute resolution consultant, CEO of Gami and Gami Group. We're also speaking with Mr. Abraham Kumson, Secretary General of the Ghana Federation of Labour. And Mr. Kumson, I come back to you. And I think both of you gentlemen have laid that foundation for us in terms of where we find ourselves economically as a people. If things continue on in this way, Mr. Kumson, what do you foresee for the average Ghanaian worker in the coming months as the year progresses?
I expect organized labor to properly structure themselves. It's not only May Day that we should be seen to be talking about issues. May Day is the climax of a struggle. That struggle did not just what the first May, then something started happening. It started long before that day came. And so we don't wait till the first May before we hold placards and then we march past. Then the president of the state will be standing there and acknowledging something, and then later you talk and talk and talk. If you like, I will bring you the speeches that have been read at May Day Parade and see whether any paragraph had been, repair the broken economies that we are facing. So what I'm saying is that it's not only May Day. We should be vigilant and make sure that the economy is not plunged into this situation that we find ourselves in. If we realize that, look, the government is messing up, the president is messing up the economy, we should be able to point out. It's not about you being NPP, NDC, CPP. It's not about that. We must have the courage to point out to them, because if you look at these small boys at the house, whom we even thought that they would use the opportunity to even learn, they're the same people who are, look, yesterday, this election, there were bribery and all these things. This morning, I read something. Richard Anyaba was defending what that minister did. That MP did.
The MP for Kwada. So, yes, he made a post.
Like this. You are supporting this thing. You are supporting this bribery thing. That is, yes, you see the man, the right person to give money to the commissioner, the commission staff. You see the right person to do it. Why didn't you give it to the commissioner itself, or to give the staff who were operating? Not these young guys. These young guys that we expect them to learn, to be able to, so that we can have confidence in them, and eventually they'll take over power, and then help the economy to grow for the sake of the youth who are coming up. So you as a young guy like this, you see that you are defending this corruption. What kind of behavior is it? And these are things that I expect my colleagues organize to come the person out. Someone say it. As I speak, right? I'm telling you that some workers, some companies, workers, they will never because of the rain. But they have vowed that.
Mr. Kumson, I think we're having a few challenges with your phone. If you can reposition for us, we'll be so grateful. I'll come quickly to Mr. Gami as we round up on this conversation. Mr. Gami, what final words do you have for us on a day like this, on May Day, as we wrap up on this conversation, especially with your expertise? How do both employers and employees foster a positive workplace relationship to resolve conflicts amicably?
Well, that is very important. I expect organized labor, and when I say organized labor, indeed all working people, as we have been doing, to come together properly and find out, take advantage of the Labor Act that we have, go and meet government at the level of tripartite and be able to have a conversation about the terrible working condition we find ourselves in, especially with reference to the economy, so that they can find out how can be done. We should meet all the parties, particularly because we are in election year.
That's right.
We have basically 6 months more to go for election. I don't want people to be supporting, people for the sake of it. Let's support issues. What are your plans? You said it is possible because you want to use digitization. What are you going to use the digitization to achieve? Tell us one. You want to use 24-hour economy. What are you going to do? One. And so we advise our members that, well, this is what this fellow has said, this is what this fellow has said. Make up your mind and go and choose. But to continue in the tangent which we are, I do know that if we don't have a real change for the sake of it, and it's just going to be about MPP, NDC, voting pattern, this nation, I don't think it will exist. So it's for the workers to take advantage, go get treated, get experts to join them. Already our pension has been destroyed. Even though they are denying it vehemently.
That's right.
It didn't start yesterday. We all do know that the governments have put their long arms into the money and are misusing it. And the people who are leading the SNIT are not the genuine owners of the money. The workers are the owners of the money.
That's right.
SNIT money does not belong to government. SNIT money does not belong to a Sunrise employer. The employer deduct the money from your pay. It ceases to be his money.
That's right.
It's your money. So it's an insurance pool that have been put together. It's for the working people to ensure that they protect their future. And they are sitting there, and the government is the one employing, appointing the Director General, deputies, staffers. It's government. It's government. The worker who owns the money have really no say. It's a big shame. And, if they will not go talking about their rights, genuinely to have some redemption, then it's up to them. Tomorrow they should not come and complain.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Gami. And Mr. Kumson, I'll get final words also from yourself.
And I hope my colleagues will listen and always so that we truly. That's all that I would say. We thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for joining us on this discussion. That was Mr. Abraham Kumson, Secretary General of the Ghana Federation of Labour. We were also speaking with Mr. Austin Gami, Labour and Alternative Dispute Resolution Consultant, CEO of Gami and Gami Group. But this is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We'll be expanding the conversation further. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
3FM Sunrise.